whatnot. So today we're going to be learning about botanical nomenclature. And let's just start from the first word, botanical. Botanical is related to plants. And then nomenclature is the division and choosing of names, usually for science-related topics. Great, now, so here is the taxonomic hierarchy for plants that we use. And you guys are going to want to study this, because you will see this on a test. So you want to know first it goes kingdom, going down to division, class, order, family, genus, then species is at the very end. So in this class, we're going to be focusing on specifically the species, but the genus and family as well. Okay, so now we're going to get into the actual scientific names, and that's the binomial. And binomials and the scientific name is first the genus, and then following the genus, it's going to be the species. So I just want to declare how important it is to use scientific names versus using the common name of a certain plant, just because, one, it's more professional. We kind of discussed this the first the second class that we had together, but the importance of using scientific names over common names. So whenever you use scientific names, you seem more professional and you seem that you know your plant material more, and it comes off that you know your stuff. So I would use that over scientific. Scientific names will also give you the ability to talk about different plant species really to anyone across the world. Saying the scientific name in its Latin form versus the common name, because a lot of people have different names for certain plant species, different common names depending on which geographic location that you're in. So again, with the scientific names, one plant may have many common names. So we have the Latin name Stachys byzantina, but we have multiple common names for it. So some people might think it's lamb's ear or woolly betony or woolly woundwort or woolly hedge nettle. So we had some issues with scientific names, especially older scientific names. They were cumbersome, especially because a lot of our scientific names that we use, it describes what the plant actually looks like. And here you see we have, let's see how many words, like 7 words here to describe having one scientific name for 7 words. It's a lot. So here it's very cumbersome, and luckily for us, we've evolved into kind of forming scientific names usually with just 2 or 3, usually the genus then species, so it's not so long. But yeah, so a lot of times with our scientific names, it can relate to similarities within the plant itself. So to limit that long list of scientific names and whatnot, instead of having 6, maybe having just 2, having the genus and species, we can think Carolus Linnaeus or Carl von Linné. He was a Swedish botanist, physician, and zoologist who formalized the binomial nomenclature back in the 1700s, and he was also known as the father of taxonomy. So yeah, he pretty much just came and took out extremely long scientific names by changing some of the phrases that had similarities, and then added the genus. So the genus was first, then added the species afterwards, and before it was just the species alone. And this resulted in the creation of that binomial system that we know today, which has the genus first, and that's the closely related group. They usually have a lot of similarities within the leaf types, bark, etc. And then we have the species, which that's one entity. And then there's many species within each genus. Okay, so writing it is very important, especially the proper format of this. So let's focus on not italicizing or italicizing. Whenever you write a scientific name, you have to either italicize or not italicize. So if you do not want to italicize, and that is fine, you need to underline the whole entire scientific name. So that is the genus and that is the species. If you do not want to underline it, you have to italicize it. And when you italicize it, you cannot underline it, okay? And you always want to capitalize the first letter of the genus. You do not want to capitalize the first letter of the species. It is not proper. You may see this being done, but it is not proper. So you always want to capitalize only the first letter of the genus. With scientific names, sometimes you can have a variety, and a variety is a slight variation within a species. And you can identify that it's a variety if you see here we have genus, species, and then we have where it says VAR period, and that is abbreviation for variety. That it's not italicized either. And then we have the variety following it. So here we have a tomato. The Latin name is Lycopersicon esculetum. And then we have the variety, which is piriform. And you can also have cultivars. Cultivars are a cultivated variety. So with cultivars, you're going to have, the genus, the species, and then in single quotes, not italicized, you're going to have the variety. And they give us the example for Elijah blue fescue grass, and the genus is Festuca. The species is Cinerea, and then the variety, which is in single quotes with regular letters, is Elijah blue. You also have hybrids, and you can tell it's a hybrid because it's crossed between two species. And when you look at the Latin name, it's going to have the genus with an X, not italicized, and then you're going to have the species name as it is with hybrid. So it's that combination of the two species. So let's just look at the example. We have Taxus X media or Hicksio. And the two that were combined are a cross between the species for Taxus cuspidata and Taxus baccata. And that formulated into what we see here with the Taxus X media.